Hello everybody. In this tutorial we're going to quickly build this little circus tent. So it's not going to be an advanced tutorial, it's going to be an easy tutorial because I haven't done a Modo tutorial in a long time and I plan on getting back into them. So you're going to see several Modo tutorials being posted over the winter. And we're going to start with this little tent. So let's get a new scene and let's start. And how are we going to start? We're going to start with the cylinder. So let's grab a cylinder and let's draw out a cylinder. Make sure it is 12 sides, okay? Okay, let's back up here. I want to make sure I got everything laid in. It's a little high. I'm going to bring it down. Okay, now I'm going to make this cylinder about that big there, okay? So now I want to hit the R key and scale this puppy up a little bit because I want to work with some bigger geometry. And I'm going to go up to center selected all, and that will center me right on the middle there, okay? So here we go. We have our little tent here. So let's go in here and let's start work on this. Let's go to our polygon mode and let's select our top polygon. Then let's go to our edit menu and select cut, and that'll cut that out of there, okay? So now let's go back up to our edit menu and select paste, and it'll paste it right back in. And now all that done was give us two separate pieces, okay? So now let's select this polygon. Let's go to our polygon tab, select the tool spiky and click once. Now this will divide our top section into tries. So let's go ahead and select our top section like this, and let's hit the B key to bevel and click one time to activate the tool. Now I'm going to pull up a little bit like this, and I'm going to bevel in the X like so. Okay, now I'm going to hit the shift key and click once, and that will reactivate my tool without me having to drop it and go back over to my shelf and reactivate it. You just hold shift and left click and it reactivates the tool. As you can see, now it's reactivated. Let's bevel again, bring it up, and bring it in like that. Shift click, and let's bring it way up here like this and bevel it in. Okay, now we got that. Let's spacebar to drop our tool. Let's zoom in right here to the top. Let's select our top polygons. Hit the B for bevel. Let's bevel these bad boys in. Shift click, pull it down. Shift click, pull it down again, and shift click, pull it down one more time. Spacebar to drop our tool. So I want to delete this little portion of geometry in there. That way we have a place for a flag later in our upcoming videos. Okay, now we have this set up pretty good. It's looking okay. So now we need to run some loop slices. And you know, that's not really a problem. We need to run, let me show you. Let's go to our polygon mode, and I'm going to select these two polygons, hit the L key, and that'll loop them. Okay, so now I've selected all the polygons in that row. I'm going to hit Alt-C. Alternate C brings up your loop slice, okay? Or you can go to the Mesh Edit tab and click Loop Slice. I have a count of 2, mode symmetry, and I'm going to come in here and click, and you can see it's going to run me 2 lines, and I'm going to put them at 5%. Now you can see that run 2 loop slices right down through there, but it did not run them down here because these are 2 separate items. So let's go around and run loop slices all the way around on every section. Okay? So it's easy. As you see, I just select 2 in the direction I want to run the loop slice, hit Alt-C and click. It's already set to 5% because I had the tool set up from last time I used the tool. So I'm just going to go around here and select my polygons and run my loop slices. Okay. Now now, as you can see, I've got all my loop slices run. Let's go ahead and delete our bottom polygon. Now when I go into sub D mode with the tab key, you can see our tent is holding its shape. Okay. So now let's do a few more things to our tent here. Let's go ahead and select right up the center here on all of these by selecting 2 in the direction we want to run on, and then hit the L key and it will loop around. So as you can see, I'm going around here and just looping all of my geometry, or I should say the rows of geometry, skipping the creases. So just go around, select 2 in the direction you want it to run, and hit the L key and it will finish your loop. Select 2, L, and boom. Now as you can see, I have all of them selected except the creases. Now I'm going to call up my loop slice tool with Alt-C. I want to have a count of 1 and have it the position 50%. Okay? Now I'm going to come down and select Slice Selected. Now this little check box will just let me put the loop slices on the polygons that are selected. So I'm going to go over here and run a loop slice at 50%. I'm just going to click, and boom. If you'll notice, it run a line at 50% right down every single one of those places that we had selected. Okay? So now let's go to our top view. Let's go to our verts. And those middle lines we just put in, let's select the verts on the tips here. Okay? Now as you can see, I have this vert selected, this vert selected. The verts that are right in the center I have selected. You can see they're red. I'm going to hit the R key, and I'm going to scale those puppies in like that. Okay? And actually, I don't think I need to scale them that much. Like so. Now let's go to edge mode. Let's double click our outer edge. Let's hit our R key for scale, and let's scale this edge out past that bottom geometry. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's double click our edge again. Let's hit the Z key for edge extend. Click once and pull down. Just a little bit. Shift click. Pull down again. Just a tad. Okay. Spacebar, drop our tool. Now I'm going to recall the edge extend command with the Z key and click. Now before I do anything, I'm just going to hit the R key to bring up our scale. So now, if you'll notice, when I scale this edge will go back in. You see? So I'm going to hit the space bar, drop my tool. And I'm going to recall that again with the Z key, hit the R key, and I'm going to scale it back in a little bit more. Like that. Okay, now when I go into sub D mode, our top is holding really, really well. So now let's go ahead to our bottom here, and let's run a loop slice around. So let's select 2 polygons in the direction we want our loop to run. Hit Alt-C. This time I'm going to run 2, count of 2, symmetry. And I want to make sure I uncheck slice selected, so it goes all the way around. And about right there looks pretty good. Let's go to our edge mode. Let's double click the edges we just added. Bring up the scale tool with the R key, and let's scale those in like so. Okay, I might make this a little bit bigger like so. Okay, now we're getting our workings of a tent. But now we need to make our ropes. Okay, so let's get a new item, a new mesh for our ropes. Now we can do ropes one of several ways. We can use curves, or we can use geometry. So let's go to our quad view here. Let's zoom in on our quad views. And I'm going to go over to my basic tab. I'm going to show you how to use curves. I'm going to select curve. Okay. And I'm going to go in here and run me a curve from right here to right down here. A little bit below the tint. Now as you can see, I have a nice curve running around like that right there. Now we can go ahead and make several curves, or you can just duplicate your curves. It's completely and utterly up to you. Okay? So what do you guys think? Should we go ahead and try to make our curve? So let's go ahead and lay some curves in there. Make sure you hold your shift key to start a new one. And go down. That'll add us a second curve. Now you can see we have two curves. Okay? So now let's go to our right view. Our front view. And let's do a few more. Now if you look and see, I got these four curves run along here. Okay? And we're going to use those as our ropes. Now you're thinking, those are just curves. What good is that going to do me? If I look at my model tab, I just got these four curves running around here. And that's no good. Well, that's because we can't, when we go to our render tab, you can see these curves are not being rendered out. Well, that's because we don't have render curves turned on, okay? And we can do that by going down here under our mesh tab and selecting render curves. And now as you can see, we see those curves in our render view. And we need to turn the curve radius down. It's 50 millimeters. Let's make it 15 millimeters. Now as you can see, that made those curves look more like ropes. Okay? Let's go back to our model tab. So now let's go in here and let's build us a stake. Okay? So let's go ahead and grab us a cylinder. Let's get a new. Now let's do it inside of our curves. Let's go ahead and draw out a little cylinder. Like so. And I'm going to place it in as close to that curve as I can. Eyeball it. Now let's zoom in here. I'll pull my curve up a little bit. I mean my cylinder. Spacebar, drop our tool. Now let's go into our polygon mode, hit the B key to bevel. And I'm just, this doesn't have to be perfect because we're not going to be looking at them too close. So let's just round out, shift click. Let's just round out a stake here. Okay, let's go around to the bottom. Let's grab our bottom polygon. Hit our B key to bevel. Let's bevel that in like that. And let's bring it down. Like so. Let's shift click again. And just bring it on down until you get just a nice little shape there. I mean, it's not nothing, don't have to be anything special, because as I say, it's not something we're going to be really paying attention to. If you go into sub D mode, you'll see now we have us this little stake. Okay, so now we need to tie our rope off. But first, let's grab our stake. You know what? Real quickly, let's grab this edge, W key, and move it up just a little bit, just to make that a little bit tighter. Okay, now how are we going to make this tie around? Well, that's fairly easy. We're going to grab a donut. Okay, we're going to control click a donut, and we're going to move it over. Like so. I'm going to get it down here close. As you can see there, it's encompassing our stake. Now let's hit the R key. Scale it way down. Now let's zoom in there. Now let's position this. The best of our ability. It's still a little crooked, but we're not too worried about how straight it's going to be because it's not something we're really going to be looking at. Okay, there's that. Now let's hit the E key and rotate this a little bit like that. Okay, so now we got that donut selected. Let's go ahead and hit Command C to copy it and directly hit Command V to paste it. Now if you bring up your move tool with the W and pull that down, you'll have a copy of it, see? Now let's hit the E key and rotate this one up like so. And we can make them a little smaller. Now, as you can see, we have us a little stake there. And it's right over here, as you can see. Now, all we need to do is copy that little stake. Okay? So, instead of copy, let me give you another example here. Let's go to our polygon mode. I'm going to select these curves that we just laid down. And I'm going to remove them and get rid of them. So now you can see we only have that one. But I need to go in here and get rid of those little verts that was left that I didn't get rid of by mistake. You can see there's a little vert left where the curve was. And there's also one up in here, but I'm not too worried about it because all I got to do is go to Vertex, Merge, okay, and it'll merge all of them that are a little bit close. Okay, so now we have just our curve and our little rope there. Okay, so let's go ahead and select them like that. Let's go up to the top here. Let's go to Duplicate. Let's pick Radial Array. Click right in the center, and boom. You can see that went ahead and laid out without me having to model an extra one. And we have 11 of them, which we don't necessarily need 11 of them. So let's go to our vert mode. Now you can go in here and grab all the verts to your curves here, and you can adjust these individually. Okay, so as you can see, I've selected them all there. I'm going to hit the W key and I'm just going to pull them up like so. Okay, let's go to our render tab and see what we got. Now you can see we've got our chords there. Now let's go ahead, let's see what we got here. Anything else we can do? Yeah, we can go into sub D mode, can't we? That would help a whole lot. That help cleans the lookup of our tent. So quickly, I guess we could run, I could show you an example of the materials. So I'm going to select every other one here like this. And I'm going to give it some quick color just to define it a little bit. I still see a couple of them chords that need to be adjusted, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, now we got every other one selected. Okay, let's hit the M key to call up our materials. I'm going to give it a blue color and just call it blue. Okay, and now you can see we got a stripe going on, and if you want to do the same thing here, I'm going to go ahead and run some materials all the way on the roof like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and select every other area to add a material. Okay, you see I'm going around selecting every other one, and I'll be right back. I'm not going to make you guys watch me do this. So let me get this done and I'll be right back. Okay, now I went in and selected all the rows that match with the blue. Okay, let's go ahead and give that a material. Okay. Now we have some stripy tint. Let's go to our render tab. How about just for looks we turn on our global illumination. And here we go. We have us a nice, cool little circus tent using curves, radial arrays, and a few other things. If you, I guess the color, I didn't get the material applied real well. There. And there we go. We have a cool circus tent. Thanks for watching our first video back to Modo in a while. I hope you look forward to the next ones because I have several coming and I'm going to post them on both of my partner channels so you'll be able to see them either way you go. Thanks for watching.